Welcome to our webinar called What's New Inside Expense Management version 2023 R1. My name is Kim Dalsgaard Christensen and I am your friendly host for this webinar. As you might know, we have now released new versions of all our solutions, both for Business Central Cloud and on-premises. To follow up on this, we have these webinars. If you did not register, they will be available as recordings on our YouTube channel as soon as possible after the events. Before we get started, I would like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. As an attendee, you have joined this webinar muted or in listen-only mode by default. You will, however, have the opportunity to submit text questions to today's presenter by typing your questions. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will collect these and answer a few ones relevant for the majority of the audience. Rest, we will answer them after the event. For those of you who are new to Continia, we are one of the top add-on software companies delivering solutions exclusively to Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. We started up in 1992, leading us to today, where we are an international company with offices throughout the world, supported by more than 1,400 Microsoft Business Central partners. Our solutions focuses on the automation of finance processes from start to finish by using Business Central. This means we simply build our solutions inside Business Central. This is due to the open architecture of Business Central that gives us opportunity to add all our features directly into the Business Central application. This makes it very easy for users to adapt the new features, and the implementation costs are extremely low compared to related standard solutions within the market. And all our solutions are available both on-premises and on Business Central Online or Cloud or SaaS from Microsoft AppSource. Each and every solution is delivered by our partners, and we do have a wide range of different customer types, both within size and types. So no matter who you are and what you do, I'm pretty sure you will find customers much alike you. That was it about Continia. Now it's time for my colleague Lotte to take over and show you the new features and all the rest in our expense management solution. Lotte, you can just take over.
Thank you, Kim. Then I will share my screen. Yes, as Kim mentioned, this is all the new stuff for expense management for the 2023 R1. Before I start the presentation, I would like to say that we always aim to keep you informed and up to date on the latest features that can benefit your company. During this webinar, we will be showcasing new features, improvements, and enhancements that have been made to expense management. And as Kim also mentioned, please, if you have any questions, write them in the chat and we will have a look at it at the end of the presentation. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Lotte Valgaard. I am the solution specialist for expense management, senior, probably because of the gray hair. I don't know. So these are the highlights in this version 2023 R1 for expense management. Purchase contracts, posting setup for taxable amounts on mileage and per diem, payment types for user groups, and we've done some UI improvements. Okay, I just need to. You now have the option to, or actually you will get notified if there are identical expenses in the mobile app. So now there's an option to merge these. And for the UK market, we have added the possibility to post VAT on mileage. So starting with purchase contracts, yeah, we think this is a quite exciting update that we will briefly show you in this webinar, which is now included in expense management. We understand that managing contracts can be a complex and challenging task, especially regarding purchases, and that goes for purchasing on expenses as well. So that's why we've developed a new tool that makes creating and managing purchase contracts easier and more efficient. So with this new feature, you can create, track, and manage purchase contracts in one place. You'll be able to easily track contract terms, receive notifications of upcoming contract expirations, and store all relevant documents in one secure location. So this will help you save time and reduce the risk of errors and oversights. We will have a specific webinar on the 17th of May, where we will dive deeper into the purchase contracts. So please remember to sign up for this. But I'll just give you a short sneak peek of the purchase contracts in expense management. Just need to find my slide. Here it is. Yes. If I open my, and it just closed down. I just need to open it again. Sorry. Come on. I actually just had it open, so I'm really sorry that I have to open it again. Closes down too quickly. So in expense management, you only need a few settings to get started with purchase contracts. So first you go to expense types. And here you see that there is a new column over here called purchase contract. And when the expense type is set to mandatory, everything will run automatically inside Business Central. So let me just show you an example of an expense that's been sent in. So here we have a LinkedIn expense, and there's a comment that purchase contract is missing. So when I open this one, there's a new area down here called purchase contract. And this is where you can create a new purchase contract from this expense, or you can add it to, an existing purchase contract to this, and that will hold track of all the expenses on this contract to make sure that there are no doublets, to make sure that you've had all the expenses during the year for this. We have added some option to do some posting setup for taxable amount on mileage and per diem. So if you want to track the taxable amount of mileage and per diem separately, you can create separate accounts for each in your chart of accounts. So as an example, you can set up a mileage reimbursement account to track the total amount of non-taxable mileage reimbursement, and a taxable mileage account to track any excess mileage reimbursement considered as taxable income. So you can set up the same thing for per diem reimbursement and track all the taxable amounts. So this will help you keep track of how much of each type of expense you incur and make it easier to calculate the taxable amount at the end of year, and also during each month when you have to do the payroll and you need to declare what is tax-free and what is taxable. So simply there's a new account set up for this, and once this has been set, everything will be handled inside Business Central. So again, I'll just jump back to my here. So what you need to do first is to go to expense setup page, and here both on mileage and per diem, you see that there is you can enable taxable rates. So once this has been enabled here on the setup, both for mileage and per diem, so it's individual, you can use it for one of them or both. What you need to do is then to go to the mileage rates, and you see that there's a taxable rate here. So this column is only showing because you've enabled the taxable rate. That has been there for a while. So what we've added now is the setup to post these amounts on a different account than all the other ones. So on the taxable account, you can simply add a specific account for that. Once a user has sent in a mileage, and I'll show you that. Where is it? No, that's the one. And you see that this one has been released and it has the taxable amount showing here. And that is perfectly fine. But what we would also like to show is on the reimbursement page, how much is tax-free and how much is taxable. So if I go to the reimbursement page, I'll just choose everything and I'll go to the amount. I would like to show the amount and see the details. You see that the taxable amount is showing here as well on the detailed one, and you can even, if you need to extract these to an Excel sheet, it is showing here on this one, and you can simply go to export it to Excel. It's exactly the same setup for per diem. If you want to pay an extra amount on top of the tax-free rates, you can do that exactly the same for per diem. For payment types, we have added the option to add payment types to groups, user groups. And that can be a quite useful feature if you're using a lot of different payment types and have a lot of users. So by creating different user groups and assigning specific payment types to each group based on their needs and preferences, you can ensure that the payment process is tailored to each group and meets their specific posting requirements. So the specific steps involved in setting up payment types for user groups may vary on the company and how the group you group your employees. So again, I would like to jump into the Business Central and show you how it works there. So if I go to payment types to create a new payment type or add users to the payment type that has been created already. So if I look at the MasterCard, now I can add the users here from payment types from inside the setup. So I can see the effective users, and I can amend them. So let me just go to Visa card because that's where I've done some setup. So I see the effective users. And when I go through the individual user, I can see if it's added through the user or a user group. So in this scenario, you see Esther Henderson. She has been added through the group that she's linked to. Lena Townsend the same, but Robin has been added individually. So you can do the setting exactly what it makes sense for your company, and you can edit the user assignments, so you can add new users, and you can edit the group assignment. And again, the user groups are set up in the Continue User Setup page. So if I go to Esther, you see that there's a user group set here, and this can be used, the user group can be used for setting up payment types, filtering on what they are allowed to view and other things. So it's quite valuable to add user groups to the user setup. And when you create new users, you can even add the payment types here. So you don't have to jump out of this page. So we're trying to minimize the steps that you have to go through. So while you're creating new users, you can add all the cards that they, all the payment types that they would be using. Yes. We have also made some improvements when setting up a payment type, because we wanted to minimize the view when you set up things in expense management. Instead of having a lot of fields showing, we only want to show you the valuable fields that needs to be filled in whenever you have chosen something. So again, I'll jump into the payment types. And I'll choose the Luna. I'll just created a new payment type here. And you see that the method, the posting method, is showing that it should be posted on the expense user. So that's an option also on the payment type, that instead of posting it inside Business Central, nothing will be posted on the general ledger. It will be posted on the employee because they are reliable of paying the outstanding balance on this type of card. If I change this one to be posted on a business account, it is now showing me some more fields. So there's a posting account setup that needs to be done. And here you define whether it's a general ledger account, if you want to post it on a vendor or a bank account. And the same thing goes for the bank transaction credit card. The matching method is set to never required. If I change this to always required, then a few more fields are popping up that needs to be filled in. So by simplifying this setup process, we aim to reduce the likelihoods of errors or confusion and give users peace of mind, knowing the setup is correct, avoiding errors in a later process. So whether you're a first-time user or seasoned pro, you can trust that our setup process is hassle-free and straightforward. The other thing we've done here with the setup for payment types is that we have prevented the possibility of specifying a balancing account or intermediate account if that account has VAT associated with it. So let me give you an example. I'll just, as an example, this one. So now it's throwing me an error saying that we don't think it's a good idea to use this account because it has VAT linked to it. The other thing that we have, sorry, I just need this one going away. And we have also prevented the possibility of wrongly assigning the same balancing account and the intermediate account to a payment type. So shortly, maybe most of you know what I'm talking about, but just shortly to explain what this does. What it means is that once the transaction arrives into expense management, it will be posted on the setup here. And if I set this one to this account, and it would then be on the other side of the posting, it would be posted on an intermediate account until the expense type has been chosen. If I, by mistake, choose the same account, it would throw me an error. So again, helping you to avoid any errors later on in the process. In the mobile app, the user will now get a notification if there are two identical expenses. So this is an automatic expense detection and merging, which can be helpful for you, and especially if you have a high volume of transactions. It can help you ensure that expenses are accurately tracked and avoid no potential errors or inconsistencies that would arise, and some manual work. So when an identical expense is detected, the app will notify the user and ask if they want to merge the expenses into a single entry. So if an image is linked to one of these expenses, it will be added automatically to the merging, and they can review and confirm the merge if everything looks correct. So this is to prevent duplicates from being created in your expense system, which would reduce the workload for your bookkeeper or administrator in Business Central to avoid a manual process to handle these. And of course, I would like to show you how it works. So I'm opening my app. And when transactions have been imported into expense management, the system will automatically create an expense and send to the user linked on the card. And they will be lying under open. But if I haven't noticed that there are any expenses lying there that I need to handle, I might think, oh, I need to create the expense for the apple that I bought the other day. So I'll pick up the image, apple, yes, fine. And it's now scanning the receipt, picking up the details, the date, the currency, and the amount. And I would just need to put my payment type and the expense type. So what will happen now when I submit this one? It has checked in the open that there's an identical expense. So now I have the option to merge the expense with the one lying in open, or I can send this in as a separate expense. But I thank you for the automation here, and I can just show you now that if I save this one, I go back to the open, there's still only one expense here. And now I can submit this one. And everything looks fine. In my history, I've only sent one expense. We have added a functionality specifically for the UK market. And with this update, UK users can now add a fuel rate and set up a specific posting for fuel, making it easy to calculate the VAT automatically. So first, we need to go to the mileage rate setup, and I'll just jump back to Business Central, and I'll just search for mileage rates. And you see there's a column here called fuel rate, and this just needs to be filled in with the rate that we will be giving on top of the mileage rates, so they get an extra amount for this. And of course, as with the taxable account, you can add a specific account for the fuel. So once this is set, and when the user submits a mileage, I go to the mileage here, and I edit this one. You see that it's now been split on non-fuel element and fuel element. And if I go to more options, I can see the hosting preview. And there are two amounts on the VAT. So this will automatically handle the VAT on the fuel rate. As always, we are committed to improving our software and welcome feedback. So what you see here in this version is input from you guys. And on top of these 5 features, we have added a lot more. In-app notification, description field extensions, better validation of number series and source codes, expanded option for calculating per diem sub-rates, view document ID in payment management, support for Business Central Universal Code Initiative, Polish and Portuguese translation. The in-app notification is something that we've launched now for expense management. In this edition, it is designed to help you stay informed about any third-party issues that may arise and offer useful tips on how to resolve them. And this is our way of ensuring you're always up to date, even when things don't go according to plan. But that's not all. We are quite excited to show you the in-app notification to share news about our latest releases. So you'll be the first to know when new features and updates are available, giving you a competitive edge and helping you stay ahead of the curve. So again, I'll jump into the solution and I would like to show you and again, it's another portal, so I just need to open this one. So you will get a notification in the front page of Business Central. And here you would then go into the expense management, see the notifications lying in here. You can see small videos, description on what has been added to the version and how the functionality works. So we hope that you find this quite helpful for you to make sure that you know about all these new features and that what value it would bring to your company. Oops, let me see. We have expanded the option for calculating per diem sub rates. So in the previous version, it was set to calculate the sub rates to last day only. But now there's an option to set it to to daily. Yeah. So what it did previously, if there were full days, it would show the calculation as here. If it was shorter days, it would sum up and put the calculation on the last day. So with a new option, you can choose daily and it would calculate on the individual day, no matter if it's a full day or a short day. So you will see the individual calculation here. If you're using payment management, you'll probably be pleased to know that the document ID will now be showing for expense management documents. And this improvement in payment management will allow easier tracking and management of your payment documents. Viewing the document ID lets you quickly identify and access payment records as needed. Overall, this update should streamline your payment processing and improve your workflow efficiency. So inside payment management, you see here that this is an example of a payment from expense management, and all the details are showing what type of document is included in this payment. So we have some different documents here: expenses, per diem, and an expense report, which is included. Support for Business Central Universal Code. With this feature, you'll be able to use local file system storage in expense management on premises without having to pay universal code fees to Microsoft. So to accommodate users challenged by this extra fee that Microsoft have added, expense management will now support local file system storage using cloud optimized code. So this means you'll be able to choose the document storage option file service, replacing the older one file system storage type without incurring universal code fees from Microsoft. We have done some translation for Polish and Portuguese, so you will now be able to use expense management in Polish and Portuguese, and we have translated the UI, the captions, the tooltips, etc. I think I missed a page. Let me just see. Sorry about this. I think I missed to tell about the better validation of number series and source codes and the description the description field extension. So with the let me just check. So with the description field extension, what we've done here is that we've updated expense management to enhance its functionality and consistency with Business Central, meaning that we specifically have extended most of the description fields from 50 to 100 characters. So this change will give you more flexibility to describe data in greater detail, ensuring that you can accurately record and track important information. And the validation of number series, we have improved that. So when installing expense management, the software will create number series and source codes as part of the setup process. And in previous versions, mismatches between these codes sometimes occurred, causing issues. However, with a new update, an assisted setup guide is imported into the expense management setup data to ensure all codes are valid and match up properly. So this change should validate the number series and source codes more accurately, only containing valid codes. Yes, that was my presentation. I will now give the microphone back to you, Kim.
Thank you, Lotte. And thank you for your really nice presentation. A lot of new features. I will just give you a small information about if there should be any changes in the pricing according to all these changes. And while we are doing that, you can take a rest, Lotte, and I will encourage the rest of you to type in any possible questions through the chat button. And then Lotte will answer for it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and I will just share my presentation again. Again, a lot of new features and a lot of improvements. Thank you for that, Lotte. But one of the big things is, of course, the introduction of purchase contracts to expense management. And how, if you want to use this set of features to your expense management solution, how can that be possible? And as you know, maybe you know, but we have two types of license programs. We have a license program for customers on premises, where you have your own Business Central implementation on your own server or your own hosted server. Or we have the license program for customers on Business Central Cloud, where you get our solutions through apps on Microsoft App Source. And on premises, to get access to purchase contracts features, you need to buy a separate add-on license to purchase contracts upon the expense management license. As you can see here is the subscription license pricing in euro. This license actually covers use of purchase contracts both in expense management and in document capture. And if you have both, you can cover purchase contracts through expenses with expense management, and of course, purchase contracts through, for example, vendor invoices through document capture. And these are, of course, the subscription license pricing, and this is the purchase license pricing in euro. If you're on Business Central Cloud, well, we have a gift for you who are existing customers. for expense management, because when you start using the new version on Business Central Cloud, then you will also get the purchase contracts features available through the essential module of expense management. The essential module is where you start, and then you add, for example, mileage and per diem and so on. So all existing Business Central Cloud customers with expense management, they will get these features when you get on the new version of expense management. And if you want to use purchase contracts for document cap for vendor invoices, again, you need to acquire the document capture app if you don't already have it. And as you can see, there is an additional cost for that because you need to choose the purchase contracts module for document capture. And when you have done that, again, you can cover purchase contracts administration with both invoices and expenses through our two solutions. I think that was it for me, Lotte. I don't know if there has been any
There
incoming
hasn't.
questions.
No questions. I don't know if I should
You've
take
been
that
very
as
thorough.
purpose. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but you all know where to find us if any questions occur afterwards.
Yeah, and of course, if you're an end customer, contact your partner, and if you're a partner, you are welcome to contact us.
Yes. And
So
again, I would like to thank you for all the input that we've had from all of you, both partners and customers. That is our way to improve the solution. So I hope you continue doing that.
yeah, and on behalf of myself, thank you very much, and have a nice day. And Lotte, you can end up.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you for participating.
Bye bye.